Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are doing amazing, and I hope you guys had an amazing month of September. We are now starting the month of October with quite a lot of intensity, as if we needed some more just after the eclipse season that we just had. But as Sophie said, and I'm going to quote her because we just pulled cards on this on the 5D News show from Tuesday, from September 30th. She said that it was kind of the last big, let's say, peak of intensity in the energies before it calms a little bit. So it means whenever we have a lot of intensity, like we're having for this full moon in the sign of Aries, it means that there is change at play. We are under a process of individualization, Aries transformation, because we have also this Plutonian energy at play. Before we can really set the stage for a lot of, I would say, building beautiful things, and especially preparing the ground for early next year in February, which I'm going to talk about in just a few seconds. So this is going to be my astrology video about the full moon in Aries, which is going to be exact on October 6th. And it happens quite late at 11:47 p.m. Eastern daylight saving times. We're still in daylight saving times here. So almost at midnight. So depending on where you are in the world, it could also be on October 7th. But meaning it's going to be at its peak in the sky on October 6th, between October 6th and October 7th. So, and I feel like we can already feel the energy building to this very intense full moon, because first, the full moon is usually where we feel like a peak of emotional intensity because the sun is opposing the moon, or rather the opposite, the moon is opposing the sun. So there is this like surge of previously repressed emotional energy that is coming out, and especially because this is a fire full moon in the sign of Aries. So it happens once a year where we have the full moon in Aries. And it's a time of a lot of those emotions that we've suppressed that are coming out for us to, let's say, acknowledge them and use them as a guide of what can we do, what can we change in order to feel more emotional fulfillment for ourselves. And Aries is the sign of self. It is the sign of self-assertion, of I would say also the ego, but not in a negative way, in a good way, in a sense that we came here as a soul in a physical body with an ego in order to develop our personality, our needs and wants. So Aries is very much about our needs and wants, our desires. Like, what do we want to pursue? Like, what's our driving force? How do we want to honor this lifetime as an embodied soul? So it talks about also a lot of new beginnings. Aries is the sign of spring. So this is going to be quite an intense full moon, but also I feel like I'm personally feeling like we're also completing a lot of things. So I have prepared a slide. I'm going to show it in just a few seconds because I don't want to forget anything. But I feel also like there could be a lot of positive completions, because a full moon is this energy of completing a cycle, a lunar cycle, and it comes right after the eclipse season. So in meaning that we're still integrating a lot of the changes that are happening with eclipse season, and we're still tweaking things um, in our inner life, in our outer life, in order to, like, let's say, create this life, this dream life in the new world that we're really striving for. And we're going to have a major astrological event in February of next year. So I feel like this full moon is really gearing us towards February of next year, where we're going to have Saturn conjunct Neptune at 0 degree of Aries. So Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's the sign of where we begin our creation process. I don't know what I put the slide there because I still had some things to say apparently. And 0 degree of Aries is like the infinite manifestation point. So Saturn is the material, Saturn is the structures that we build in the material world, to, let's say, build this kind of legacy that we're trying to build. And Neptune is the complete opposite. Neptune is the dream world. It is the connection with other worlds, other realms, with a source, with divine inspiration. But when the two of them meet together, it really creates magic, especially at 0 degree of Aries. It's like we really have the possibility to build anything we want, to really, let's say, create the structure for our dreams to come true in this physical reality. So I think it holds so much beautiful potential. I am so excited for that. And I feel like this Aries full moon at, let's say, it's playing a smaller role than this conjunction that is going to happen in February of next year, of course, but it helps us really set the stage for this creation and this building in the direction of our dreams. So that being said, this is why I call this Aries full moon personal achievements and striving for balance. Because, first of all, personal achievement, I think a lot of projects, personal endeavors are going to come to a potential fulfillment, a close, a completion. We're going to see like the results of our past work at the time of this full moon, especially towards like ourself, like our bodies, our physical body. And since also spring equinox of 2025, what have you accomplished? For example, for me, very close to the spring equinox of this year, which was the start of Aries season, I started to do yoga and to really work on my physical fitness, but through doing yoga very regularly, about like 2, 3 times a week. And I started to feel like really, really good. And I've continued for now almost 6 months or maybe more. So I'm super proud of myself. I feel good. I feel stronger physically, energetically. So Aries is also about the physical body. So what you have started around Aries equinox is also possibly coming to a close. So it's like also a reaping of the rewards. And I was last night like thinking about that. I'm like, wow, like this was such like a cool journey, but let's say not always easy, especially at the beginning when I had to like rebuild my muscles because I hadn't done much in terms of physical exercise in the past months and years regularly. And I've been working a lot. I've been like having a hard time to find that balance, like taking care of myself physically, personally, taking some time for me. And now I feel like I really did that successfully. So probably you too have an area of your life where you can be proud of yourself for the efforts that you've put towards a goal for yourself. Because Aries is not the sign of, it's not a, well, it's a relationship sign in the signs that it's opposing Libra, but in itself, innately, it talks about you putting yourself as a priority. So what have you done since the spring equinox that was helping you to listen more to yourself, listen to your body, maybe your health, maybe your physical exercise, like myself? Maybe you've put a personal project as a priority. Maybe you put your personal time as a priority. So you see where I'm going. So this is why I put personal achievements, and the other one is striving for balance, because whenever we have an Aries full moon, it means that, and I have a chart to show you, the sun is in the opposite side of Libra, which is the sign of relationships and partnerships. So we're having to balance both the sun and the moon at the time of a full moon, but the focus is more on the moon. But still the sun is in the opposing sign, meaning that it's Libra season. There are going to be a lot of themes surrounding partnerships, relationship, equal give and take, finding more balance, striving for more balance with others, but also with self. So this is what is happening here. but also not forgetting ourselves, which is also the message of Aries. Finding balance and finding space in order to share with other people, to build bridges with other people, but not at the detriment of the relationship with the self, which is front and center at the time of this full moon. So maybe we've gone a little bit astray with some situations, partnerships, relationships, collaborations, and now it's time to rebalance that. So because we have the full moon in Aries, and also we also have a square to Pluto, Mercury squaring Pluto. So there is this buildup of fire, of intense energy. So there is definitely this energy of wanting to either fight for a cause, stand our ground for something, fight for more justice, fight for more fairness, fight for more balance. Doesn't have to be very dramatic. It can just be like taking actions towards something that is important to you. Like, let's say, giving yourself, I don't know, 30 minutes a day to meditate. Maybe it's just that. Maybe it's bigger. Maybe a situation is coming in the forefront of your consciousness in order to remind you that um, you have to put your energy toward finding this, like recalibrating the balance of a situation. Maybe it's something legal. Maybe it's something personal, but like it's important that you respect yourself and your what yourself is telling you at this point that it needs, your inner self. So Mars, the ruler of Aries, so anytime we have a full moon or a new moon, we look also at the ruler, which is another very important indication in astrology of what the energy is going to be like. So now Mars at the time of our full moon in Aries is in its other home sign of Scorpio, where it is very focused, very almost rebellious, passionate, driven. So we're likely going to feel this surge of energy of really wanting to focus on one thing, because Scorpio is the sign of like being laser focused on something. So, and with Mars there, we really have a lot more energy than usual, and also the full moon in a fire sign. So we have more energy than usual to pursue something, to finish something, to energetically, karmically complete something of importance. Also, asserting our needs for ourselves, but also in the relationships and partnerships is going to be a very important theme here for the full moon. And while we're having all this energy into the fierce signs of Aries and Scorpio, we also have Venus, which is the ruler of the opposing sign where the sun is, the dispositor of the sun. It's also near the conjunction. So the conjunction happened a few or what I'm is it in the future, in the past? I'm lost in time. Let me look at my notes. But nonetheless, we are very close to the Venus South Node conjunction. So it just happened. It just happened a few days ago. Okay. I'm doing videos for like astrology in the future, astrology in the past, and I'm struggling so much with finding out like where we are right now. So thank you for following me through multi-dimensionality. I've always struggled with the concept of time. Okay. And for me, it makes sense also that astrology is the real time and not like the time that we see on our watches on, yeah. Okay, that being said, so we're very close to the Venus exact conjunction to South Node, so we're still under this influence. And Venus is a planet of relationships. It's the ruler of Libra, also financial banners and love, of course, and self-worth. So Venus is striving for balance, is striving for emotional fulfillment, for equal relationships. And now we have the South Node there. So there is this energy about this karmic energy about wanting to release something that is not allowing us to have this balance. And I talked about this in other shows when we talked about this conjunction. But now at the time of this full moon, it's also there as a background player. And it's also reminding us that we need to let go of something, or we need to deal with something of the past in order to really set the stage properly with this full moon. And it could be, because it's in the sign of Virgo, it could be that a work situation was unbalanced. It could be that you're not being paid as you deserve, as you should. Maybe you underestimate the value of your work. Maybe you underestimate your own value, which can also be Virgo. Maybe you need to let go of a fear of being an imposter, whatever you're doing at work. So it might be connected to work. It also might connected to health, self-worth. So anything that you're seeing the resurgence of in the days surrounding this full moon that you need to let go of. It could also be a toxic relationship. It could be someone around us that is not, let's say, allowing a fair exchange of energy. And now it's the time to really tweak this exchange of energy. Or it could be a negotiation that is happening about work, about money, about relationship, partnership. So this karmic situation from the past is also in the background helping us to really set the stage for next February, because this full moon is going to give us the energy and the drive in order to confront anything that stands in the way. So let's go back to the notes here. So there could be because also we have the square between Mercury here, which is at 0 degree of Scorpio, beginning its really intense energy into the underworld. Mercury is the planet of thoughts, of conversation, communication, mental process, and it's making a square to Pluto in Aquarius. So there is this very mental energy, this very intellectual energy. So there could be tough conversations to be had around this full moon, conflicts regarding money, regarding agreements. So do not fear confrontation. And I'm not saying to really let it out on just anybody. Of course not. It's really important that you are centered in your approach, that you understand your personal triggers. But it's also important to say what you have to say, and not trying to be a people pleaser, not trying to ruffle feathers, because Aries in its archetype is not scared to confront what is important to its own sake. So this is also one of the medicine of this full moon. And it's important before we communicate those things that are important to us to really reflect on what part of it is a trigger of ours, and what part of it is something that is important for us to communicate to the other in order to not sweep things under the rug like can Libra do sometimes. So tough conversations and conflicts can happen regarding money agreements, especially because there's going to be this very explosive energy with the square to Pluto, with the full moon in Aries. So yeah, it's important also to, of course, center ourselves. But on the positive side of things, there is this really, let's say, powerful energy to complete things, to go towards achievements, to move the energy. And I think like one of the best things around this full moon is to really decide to make decisions for yourself, to put yourself as a priority. What is going to make you happy? What small thing could you do to add quality to your well-being? So I think this could really be a good portal of energy if you use it to prioritize yourself and your needs. And also dealing with things, fixing things, confronting shadows, to finally let go of the past, because for now we have Neptune retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Pluto retrograde. And we have also, because of Venus with the South Node, which is another energy that connects us with the past. So meaning that a lot of things from the past can have a resurgence around the time of this full moon, because we're still tweaking things. We're still putting order to the past. before we can dive into this fresh new portal in February of 2026, which is not too far away. Let me tell you, it's happening very soon. Let me see if I said what I wanted to say. So you might have noticed, yes, that in the past couple of, let's say, weeks, we've had quite like intense energies surrounding us. Part of it, of course, was the eclipses. The other part of it was that a lot of planets are, I'm going to show you my chart. So it's easier for you to follow. A lot of planets were moving at near the degree 0 of Scorpio, which makes a square to Pluto. So we had Mars not too long ago in the past weeks. And then now we have Mercury at the time of this full moon making the square to Pluto. And at the, let's say, the 22nd of October, we're going to be in Scorpio season. So the sun is going to move there at this point and is going also to square Pluto. So as you can see, and also we're going to see Venus also do the same thing, square Pluto. So the squares to Pluto are a highly transformative period, but it's not happening smoothly. It's happening through upheavals to, let's say, situations that are vectors of growth that allow us to surpass things, to surpass energies, to be tested in some kind of way. So the square is an energy of a little bit of struggle, but also tension in order to build this change, to make us realize that we have to let go of some things, to take another direction, make changes, get out of our comfort zones. So this is pretty much the energy of change. So we had the Mars square to Pluto. We're now moving away from it. Yay. But now we have Mercury square Pluto. So we're more in a more, let's say, intellectual sort of tension at the time of this full moon. So there could be a lot of mental loops. Just try to really internalize as much as you can what are the triggers coming from the outside, because this is going to be one of the main themes of this full moon. And also there could be this energy of obsessing over the past, over past connections, past lovers, past actions, past whatever. And it's important also that we channel this high energy that we're going to have into things that will be uplifting for us. So physical exercise is always a good idea, especially during a full moon is in the sign of Aries. Moving your body, moving the energy, jumping on a trampoline, walking outside, anything physical that you can do to also connect with your body is going to be very powerful medicine. So as you can see, like, we're really setting the stage in this last, I would say, big tension, let's say big portal of tension and changes for the rest of the year, so that we can really build the life of our dreams. And so we're setting the stage. We're letting go of things, cleansing, clearing the energy. And one of the things that I think we found the perfect timing for was this workshop with Sophie, and especially during this portal of energies, where we're really trying to let go of the past. We're having this last sort of confrontations with a lot of things from the past, having big planets such as Saturn, Neptune, retrograde into the sign of Pisces before they go back to the light, and we have like a new chance for a new start, to build something new, to build a new life for ourselves, to really let go of the past, of past wounds, past crises, anything. So I think February is going to be such a key phase. I think this time around, especially as we're moving through the South Node energy, Scorpio season around the corner, perfect timing to do some cord cutting, purification, protection, which is Sophie's area of expertise. So she's sharing her well-documented tools. There is also downloadable notes, slides, and she helps you go through all the practices that she learned and she uses for herself in order to remove blockages, cut cords, really allow yourself to have this fresh new start. So we still have a couple of days left to get advantage of the 50% off that we're offering just for the launch. And the code is PROTECT to save 50% off. So very affordable. And I'll put the link down below for you to join this beautiful workshop on the Academy platform. And very lastly, if you'd like to get to know more of your personal astrology and spot where those new moons and full moons are falling in your own personalized birth chart, this is what I'm offering here on the website, and I'll put also the link down below. So this is your digital personalized birth chart in the color of your choice. And also it makes a beautiful gift. I've gifted quite a lot of those birth charts to my friends. They all loved it. And it comes with a 15 to 20 pages report explaining your most important alignments and planet placements. And also this is a great way to start your astrology journey. And also you can watch those videos that I'm making for you guys in order to spot in what house and what area of your life those full moons, new moons, eclipses are going to activate you. So for instance, for me, it's going to fall in my 8th house of healing and transformation. And also in the Aries equinox in March, I started a therapy. So now, not saying that I'm done with that, but like with this full moon activating my 8th house, it's like I'm reaching some kind of threshold of completion with this process. And I feel very good about that. So for you, it might be completely different. But do check out your birth chart. Look at 14 degree of Aries, where it is falling. And you have also another component of the information of where it is activating you specifically. And also, if you're interested in the birth chart, do make sure you add Jupiter as your discount code to save 10% off. So thank you so much, guys. Do make sure you like this video if you did enjoy the content, of course. Thank you so much for also subscribing to the channel, where Sophie and I try to put as much interesting videos as we can with the time that we have on our hands, of course, because we don't have unlimited time, unfortunately, but we do our best. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. And I wish you a beautiful full moon. Let me know down below how you're feeling with the energies and if that video resonates. And I'm sending you so much love. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.